Deontay Wilder seems set to reject the $100 million offer deal from DAZN to stay loyal to Al Haymon and the PBC. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Remstar Says So. This might be the most unpopular video I've made yet, but I'm just going to put it right out there. I think Deontay Wilder's right to turn this deal down. Before you guys start unleashing the guns on me, let me explain why. In 2017, Eddie Hearn admitted that Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua would generate about 100 million. 100 million. He never said whether it was pounds or dollars, but 100 million was the sum that had been floating around. This was at a time when Eddie Hearn and everybody who was a Deontay Wilder hater at the time was saying that Deontay Wilder hadn't fought anybody, apparently. Since then, Deontay Wilder has taken his stock and risen it dramatically by fighting Luis Ortiz and Tyson Fury back to back. By fighting two of the top four fighters in the heavyweight division, knocking out Ortiz, and getting a draw against Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder's stock has rose in astronomical ways. Now, the reason why I think he's right for turning down the Anthony Joshua fight with DAZN is because I think that deal is a load of bullshit when you actually think about it. The only good part about that deal was the Brazil fight for $20 million. The rest of that deal is absolute bollocks. And when you actually look at the fight, it's basically what Eddie Hearn offered Deontay Wilder, but just packaged in a different way. 60-40 split and then a rematch. The reason why I think that why Wilder's right to turn this offer down, is because this fight was estimated to gross over 100 million in 2017. Since then, Deontay Wilder's stock has gone up astronomically. So because Wilder's profile has risen, he's fought on pay-per-view, so on and so forth, you would be right to assume that if the fight was estimated to gross 100 million towards the back end of 2017, now that we're like at the beginning, or should I say towards the end of Q1 in 2019, you would think that the fight's going to do a lot more. Now, if I'm Deontay Wilder and I know that from the back end of 2017 the fight does 100 million, and I've done everything I can to raise my stock, knocking out Ortiz, fighting Fury, and being on the cusp of fighting Fury again before Fury bitches out, I'm thinking to myself, why am I locking myself in? Now, let's say, for example, if Deontay Wilder locks himself into a two-fight deal to fight AJ at 40 million a pop, and the first fight does 180 million, and the second fight does, I don't know, 220 million if Wilder knocks him out, the fight will have more interest. Wilder has now locked himself in to earn no more than $40 million. That's bullshit. And the reason why I say this is I can give an example. I was discussing this with one of my boys actually yesterday. I can give an example of when this happened before. When Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao finally decided to start negotiating for their fight, Floyd Mayweather offered Manny Pacquiao a flat fee of $40 million. Manny Pacquiao and his team wholeheartedly turned that offer down and refused. Floyd Mayweather then went back for another flat fee of I think about 50, and then I think he went in at 55. Manny Pacquiao turned it down. It's a good thing, and the public and everybody was telling Manny Pacquiao to take the deal. It's a good thing that Manny Pacquiao and Manny Pacquiao's advisors did not listen to us, because what happened was that went on to become one of the biggest fights grossing of all time, and Manny Pacquiao went on to earn $180 million. That fight was on pay-per-view in almost every country you can think of. The US, it was $100. The UK, I remember buying that fight and it was about 30 or 40 pounds. It would have been pay-per-view in Australia, New Zealand, Germany. They really milked the shit out of that fight. And it probably is the highest grossing fight of all time, or within our era anyway. So what happens if Manny Pacquiao would have taken that flat fee offer? well, Floyd Mayweather would have walked away with all the money. Now, we don't really. The reason why Deontay Wilder is also turning this down is because DAZN are only giving him a contract for one fight and then two, and then locking him in for another two. What I mean by this is that they're offering him the Brazil fight, and then he's going to lock himself in to fight Anthony Joshua, and he can't fight anybody else. Now, this leaves all of the power and the advantage in Anthony Joshua's hands because after Wilder knocks out Brazil, Anthony Joshua could literally sit down for 9 months, 10 months, 11 months, 12 months, letting Wilder acquire ring rust before he takes the fight. Or Anthony Joshua might never take the fight, and then the only way Wilder could be liable to get out of that contract would be if the WBC was to mandate a fight. Apart from that, he wouldn't be able to fight anybody but AJ, and AJ would have all the control. Also, we don't know if the zone are looking to give AJ a lucrative lock-in deal, or if AJ is going to get the upside as well. Now, if I was Deontay Wilder and I know that this fight was worth more than if this fight was worth 100 million over a year ago, I'd be thinking to myself, you know what, fuck this, I want the upside as well. And also, just look at the numbers. Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury did great numbers in America and in the US. Imagine what an undisputed championship fight would do if Wilder versus AJ were to fight on Fox or Showtime. Now, we all know that Showtime have got a much bigger budget than Fox. Fox has a much bigger budget than Showtime does. So maybe they should look to go and do the fight there. Eddie Hearn has already stated Anthony Joshua does not have any contractual obligations to fight on DAZN. Anthony Joshua is only contractually obligated to fight on Sky Sports box office, but he's not actually tied in on DAZN. And Eddie Hearn has already said he doesn't mind AJ taking a fight on Showtime or Fox, wherever the money's going to be made, is going to be generated. So if Eddie Hearn, the biggest crook of all time, has already come out and confirmed the fight doesn't have to take place on DAZN, I think they need to look at all options. People can't start calling Deontay Wilder a ducker because one, there hasn't been any negotiation whatsoever. We don't know what Anthony Joshua is going to be offered for that fight. For all we know, Anthony Joshua could be offered 80 million, 90 million, 100 million for the fight. Deontay Wilder will not want to sign a contract where he's left in the dark and he doesn't know what's happening. He's going to want to know what AJ's earning, and he's going to want to know what himself is earning. He's going to want to know, is AJ getting upside or will AJ be getting locked in? Because, this could be a crafty little play by DAZN. Lock these guys in for a certain amount and they keep all the rest. Don't really work that way. Doesn't work that way at all. So, I don't know. That's the reason why I believe that Wilder's right to do this. Turn it down. If the zone are going to give him a one fight deal or a two fight deal, like it was originally sort of said, to fight Brazil and anybody he wants, and then they go back and negotiate the AJ fight, then yeah, that's great and fantastic. But I think Wilder would be a bit silly to shoot in the dark and sign in on an AJ fight with no dates, no terms, where AJ can literally just run rings around him. If I was Deontay Wilder, I wouldn't even be worrying about AJ and Eddie Hearn. They've already messed him around enough, and he went on to fight Luis Ortiz, and he went on to fight Tyson Fury. Deontay Wilder has already said that there's enough fights in the PBC for him to be able to fight all of these guys for the next 2 to 2.5 years. Deontay Wilder can be looking to break the unbeaten record. So if AJ and Eddie Hearn are going to be fucking around, then Wilder can walk away from it. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Do you think that Wilder was wrong? Do you think Wilder was right? Should he go to DAZN? Should the fight be on Showtime or Fox pay-per-view? Let me know your thoughts. Hit like, hit subscribe, comment. That's the end of the show because Remstar says so.